Hello everyone, it's me, Juan Gamer 54, another video, and today, yes, we have returned. We are back to finally react to some Alex Bale. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little late to the party, to say the least. So I kind of basically, I got a little too caught up trying to focus on some, giving some content to the second and third channel. And yeah, forgot about that I had to do this. So that's my fault. But you know what? We here now. So we're gonna be reacting to Alex Bale's Robot Invasion Theory, and then after that, we'll go react to the new updated one. So without further ado, let's go.
Alright, so I admit it, some of my theories have been a little crazy lately.
They have been.
Goofy Goober, alien death cult theory, Pearl's dead mother theory.
Yep.
Let's maybe try and slow down a bit on this one. There is a secret robot invasion happening in Bikini Bottom. Everywhere you look, robots have integrated themselves into society, kidnapping and replacing people with robot cyborgs, waiting for their chance to rise up and start the robot apocalypse. This is not a joke. I repeat, the robots are coming. The robots are coming.
This is the robot invasion theory.
All right, what? I'm gonna need you to I'm gonna need you to stop all that, Alex Bale. Stop all that, because you just promised us that this was going to be a calmer video, but all I'm seeing is the robots are coming. Great. I really do enjoy the filmmaking, man. I wish to film make like this. I really do. My man's still. Look at him.
Alex.
He's been going through it with the Muse.
Oh. Sorry, what? You okay, dude? Yeah, sorry, I've just got a lot on my mind lately.
How's the, SpongeBob theorizing going?
Ha.
It's good. I'm actually thinking about maybe stopping.
Why? They're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people watch them. It's just, I didn't go to film school for 3 years just to make SpongeBob theories forever.
Dang.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just something you're doing now. Doesn't mean you have to do them, like, forever.
It's easy for you to say. I mean, what, you're a year out of film school and you're already directing commercials?
Yeah, but I didn't go to film school to make commercials either. It's just something I'm doing for now. They're like SpongeBob theories.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, these videos also just, they take a lot to make. Not sure if I'm up for it anymore.
Dude, up for it? You just like watching cartoons all day. That sounds awesome.
Yep.
I would kill to have as many followers as you, man. I'd be set. I've been trying to get my film funded for months, and I still have nothing to show for it. Sounds like a pretty sweet thing you got.
My man is going through it right now. The Muse stuff is...
Time for another
Okay, he's
SpongeBob
talking.
conspiracy. Wow, I just realized I've been making SpongeBob videos for over a year now. Definitely did not think that I'd still be making these a year later. But it's all worth it, right? Because you guys love them, and I love making them, and they're super easy to make. The sponsor. Time to talk about today's sponsor. Do you like...
Alright, here we are. We're at the video right now. Honestly, Alex is going through it right now with the Muse stuff, and I'm a little saddened that one of the videos, I'm trying to wonder which, it was the Neptune one. I'm a little mad that the Neptune one just didn't get released. I explained it like in one of the videos, but I'm just gonna say it right here. Yeah, the Neptune video just got kaboom, with copyright because of footage of Camp Coral. So that happened, and it sucks too because it had like stuff about the Muse. But just so you guys know that we are going to watch everything. Don't worry. Okay, once we do with this one, and hopefully it goes through, then we're going to do with the updated one. And after the SpongeBob videos are done, we got the Muse. So, better watch out for that one, because I'm trying to see if I can watch the Muse, like, the Muse saga, like, all in one big video. So, I hope so. So, let's just keep going. Let's keep going.
of my favorite episodes of SpongeBob is the season 3 episode Crab Board.
Ah, yeah.
SpongeBob watches a scary robot movie.
I will
super
forever
paranoid
remember
about
this
robots
episode.
taking over, and even kidnaps Mr. Krabs.
What? You think I'm a robot?
Who's watching over the cash register?
We know.
It's a really funny episode. But
It is.
I can't help but wonder if SpongeBob's fears might be a bit more justified than we thought. In the episode SB129, we get our first glimpse of the future of 2,000 years
Sorry.
later.
Okay, what's going on here? Why is everything chrome?
Everything is chrome in the future.
We see a world covered in chrome, where everyone has been replaced with robotic people.
Uh-huh.
SpongeBob, is that you?
SpongeBob? No, I am SpongeTron.
And this isn't the only time we see a future full of robots. In the season 7 episode Back to the Past, SpongeBob
Back
time
to the
travels
past,
to an alternate
back
future
to the
where
past,
man
oh,
takes over,
Sumanai
and
Jack.
once again,
Sorry.
people have been replaced by robots. And then, in the second SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, there's a deleted scene where SpongeBob and Plankton go to the future and see this.
We did it! I wonder when we
Temporary
are.
voice actors, okay.
Do you know what year this is?
Oh.
Cyborgs? We didn't go back in time. We went front in time.
And there's even foreshadowing in episodes that take place in the present. In the Krusty Krab training video, we hear this.
Well, luckily for you, Mr. Krabs' fear of
After the
robot
war.
overlords keeps the
Sorry.
balance of technology in check.
And in Insecurity Guards, we can see an exhibit that clearly shows the evolution of SpongeBob eventually getting taken over by robots.
Ooh.
Okay, so there seems to be a lot of evidence for the future of Bikini Bottom being taken over by robots. But honestly, why does any of this matter? I mean, robots ruling the world is a pretty common depiction of the future in lots of different media.
Yeah.
And even if this is the canonical future of the show, it's at the very least thousands of years in the future. It's not like we can already see this robot invasion happening in present-day Bikini Bottom, right?
And we did,
Here's
and it's
an
because of
interesting
Plankton,
question about
to be honest.
SpongeBob that's always bothered me. Why
Well,
are there so many
Plankton
robots in
and
the show?
Sandy.
I'm not talking about Sandy or Plankton's inventions. It makes sense for them to have robots since they're both genius inventors. But why do hospitals and office buildings and amusement parks and Weenie Hut Juniors and many
excuse
more
me?
places have such advanced robots? I mean, let's ignore the fact that they're underwater and robots wouldn't really make sense down here. But
Hey, they may be waterproof.
Super advanced society, right? You wouldn't really say that they have much futuristic technology, except when it comes to robots. But why? And what's even stranger is that there are many instances where these robots suddenly turn evil. The first time I really
And violent.
noticed this was in the season 7 episode Tunnel of Glove. SpongeBob and Pearl get trapped in a Glove World boat ride that's full of animatronics. Patrick tries to
Oh,
set them
that
free by
ain't
breaking into
FNAF
the control
enough.
room, but accidentally causes all the animatronics to suddenly turn evil and attack SpongeBob.
Look, I know this isn't, related to anything Alex Bale. Okay, I'm sorry. And I know people are talking about, FNAF this and FNAF this, but I mean, like, a Fazbear amusement park would be interesting to explore, to be honest. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that's what Secrets of the Mimic is basically building up to be. Again, I'm not really sure much of Secrets of the Mimic. Not even sure if the gameplay trailer is out yet. But I personally think that an amusement park is something they should tackle, because, I mean, like, at this point, they pretty much tackled everything at this point. I mean, pizzerias, sister locations, a mega pizzaplex at this point. We know that they did Fry Fest, and we already know that there's a Fall Fest. We know there's, like, a Fall Fest in here, and Secrets of the Mimic is most likely taking place at that one. So at this point, like, you might as well complete the whole set. You might as well complete every single entertainment at this point. I'm sorry, let's go. You know what's sad? I actually had a nightmare of this one, really. That episode scared me.
Someone accidentally breaks the controls, then the robot malfunctions and turns evil. This isn't really all that weird for SpongeBob. Except, what's strange about this is that Patrick doesn't break any controls. He hits a button labeled animatronic override, and that's what causes the robots to turn evil.
What?
Gingerly lean on this wall.
Why would you have a button like that? Y'all was signing the death
They
sentence.
aren't malfunctioning. The robots were intentionally designed to have a button that makes them attack people, but why? Then, in the episode Good Neighbors, Squidward discovers a flyer for a home security system that's suspiciously free, despite it clearly being very advanced. After he sets it up, his house suddenly grows arms and legs and starts destroying Bikini Bottom.
Dang. Man, even Squidward's house don't rock with him. What my boy Squidward do in a past life deserve
This
this?
was a malfunction caused by SpongeBob, but why would a simple home security system have giant arms and legs? I mean, the malfunction didn't create them, they were clearly already installed. They eventually do manage to stop the house, but what's really creepy about this is that we can still see signs of Squidward's house being sentient after this episode. Then, in the season 11 episode Krusty Cleaners, SpongeBob and Patrick go to an office.
That reminds me of
and
that,
encounter a trash cleaning robot.
that
The
movie,
robot
right?
immediately attacks them for causing a mess.
Behold.
But this time, there's no malfunction that causes this. It's working exactly as intended. Not only does the
And
trash
trying to
robot
kill
have
my
a
mans,
saw
too.
and a literal laser cannon, but it also turns all of the nearby machines into killer robots to help hunt down SpongeBob and Patrick.
Dang.
So, where are all these places getting these super advanced robots? And more importantly, why are they all being programmed to suddenly turn evil? This is a question that stumped me for a while. Until I watched the season 11 episode, My Leg.
My leg!
The episode where I truly realized there was an actual conspiracy theory here and not just cartoon antics. It's time we finally find out who is behind the robot invasion.
Plankton. At this point, it's just Plankton at this point. How to get a wild animal out your... Right, he's... I don't think it's gonna be easy, my boy. You're dealing with an alien, I think. How'd they get a tentacle? My brother, there you go, much better.
Hey, I'm still serious about you leaving this house. It's not that I don't appreciate everything you've done for me, it's just, I think we want very different things.
And you don't pay rent.
You know, I don't want it to come to this, but I will use force if I have to, so you better go.
Uh-oh. The mastermind.
The episode My Leg focuses on the reoccurring gag of this one fish always injuring his leg
Frank.
throughout the show.
My leg! My leg! My leg!
At one point in the episode, he goes to a hospital. And
How do
meets
you
a
fish
robot
your own
nurse.
leg?
It's just a small throwaway gag. The robot never turns evil or does anything strange.
Don't take my leg! Don't take my leg!
But there's something awfully familiar about the robot's design. Let's go all the way back to the season 3 episode Plankton's Army, which opens
Is that the one with the
trying to steal the Krabby Patty's secret formula with a robot disguise.
Oh, I thought it was the one where Sheldon... Sheldon. I mean, it is his name, but I thought that was the episode... I thought he was going to talk about the episode
These
with
robots
Plankton,
have an
you know, summoning his whole
uncanny
family.
right down to the same time.
Oh!
But maybe we could just chalk this up to the showrunners being lazy and reusing assets. But
Dang.
SpongeBob has always had a pretty diverse amount of robot designs throughout the show. And it's not like this is a direct copy-paste either. They went to the effort to redesign the face and colors, but it was still clearly based on Plankton's robot. So, here's my theory. Plankton has built many robots to try and steal the Krabby Patty's secret formula.
Yeah.
But I think after he fails to do so, he doesn't just throw them away. He redesigns the robots and then gives them to different businesses in Bikini Bottom with the intention to one day use them to take over the world once he has enough in place.
I mean, really think about it. At this point, like... Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's kind of... what's really going on. Because let's be honest, Plankton... No one's eating in the chum bucket. Not unless you bribe someone to do it. And it's like... It bugs me. Now I'm thinking about it, now that makes sense. Why am I slow? Because I was thinking to myself... Because I had this conversation with Kevin. It's like... You know... How is Plankton still in business? I mean, let's not go over the fact that Chum is disgusting, okay? Let's just go like that. Chum is disgusting, but how is this man still keeping afloat? Because, like, there were times in episodes, like in some episodes, the Chum bucket just explodes, just kaboom. So, like, how is Plankton able to get this much money if no one's about to eat his, if no one's gonna eat his food? And let's be honest, I don't care if Plankton's an evil genius or anything. I don't care if he's intelligent like Doofenshmirtz or what. Making those machines requires the green. Okay? And if you don't got no cash, then how are you making these stuff? Or what? Is he just recycling stuff? I'm just saying. So I feel like, yeah, maybe Plankton's selling them to make a profit. Which, I mean, let's be honest, that's the only thing he can do.
What Plankton really wants isn't the secret formula, it's to rule the world.
I will rule the world!
And there's even the video game, Battle for Bikini Bottom, where Plankton tried to take over using an army of robots.
Oh.
So, this theory doesn't seem too far-fetched for Plankton's character, but we're gonna need a lot more evidence if we're gonna prove he's the one behind all the robots in Bikini Bottom. So, let's get started.
Okay.
In the Season 3 episode, No Weenies Allowed, we see a robot working at a place called Weenie Hut Juniors.
Would you care for another Diet Cola with a lemon twist?
Weenie.
And while
Dang.
it doesn't resemble any of the
Roasting my
robots
man.
we've seen Plankton make, does that voice sound familiar to you?
Would you care for another Diet Cola with a lemon twist? What a quaint restaurant.
Hey,
I
yo!
think I will sample their wares.
And again, it's not like this is the default robot voice we hear in SpongeBob. There are many different voices the show has used for robot characters.
What a quaint restaurant.
Greetings, I am Robo 2.1. No threat detected. This is very uncomfortable.
Leave my father alone!
What? Plankton has a son? I really need to go and check. I need to catch up at this point, but it's becoming too much, man. There are just too much episodes. But it is enjoyable to rewatch some good SpongeBob. But also, that's crazy. Plankton was literally, at once upon a time, Plankton and Mr. Krabs were literally best bros. Like, they go together like peanut butter and Jay. But nah, Plankton was literally trying to woo with Mr. Krabs' mother. That is crazy. Eugene, I ain't gonna lie. You're gonna have to throw the hands. Throw them hands now. Because that's crazy. You gotta get your get back on Plankton.
But here, they specifically recreated
How
the voice
dare
from
Plankton trying to date
Plankton's
Mr.
robot. Let's go
Krabs'
back to
mom.
Glove
That's
for a second.
crazy.
In
Have
the
you
control
no
room,
shame?
We see a machine on the wall that looks shockingly like SpongeBob. So much so that Patrick even mistakes him for it. We know Plankton has built a SpongeBob robot before, and
True.
welcome to the Chum Bucket, maybe he repurposed it here inside of Glove World. In Krusty Cleaners, the trash robot also has a striking resemblance to Plankton's robot in the Season 9 episode Eek and Urchin. In the Season 5 episode The Patty Gadget, Squidward tries to get SpongeBob fired by replacing him with a machine that creates Krabby Patties for free. Let's never
Squidward,
explain
L.
where Squidward got this machine. Now, it doesn't resemble anything we've seen Plankton make, but a staple in a lot of Plankton's inventions is having them resemble his likeness, especially with one eye in the middle, and that's exactly what we see with the Patty
Obvious
Gadget.
with-
And the patties it makes are terrible, which would make
He's-
sense for something
this-
Plankton made. In the episode All That
Of
Glitters,
course he would be
SpongeBob buys a super
egotistical and
advanced
make his
talking
likings from
spatula.
there.
Les Spatula 3000 at your service.
But in the episode Evil Spatula, we find out Plankton has a whole collection of advanced spatulas just like this one, and even tries to trick SpongeBob into taking a talking spatula. It seems like no matter where we turn, we can find a connection between the technology in Bikini Bottom and Plankton. But
Yeah.
if you remember in those glimpses of the future, the world isn't just ruled by robots. They've actually replaced all the
100%.
existing citizens with robot copies.
I am SpongeTron.
And believe it or not, this is also something we can already see happening in
Oh,
Bikini Bottom
yikes.
today. Get ready to see how far this robot invasion has really gone.
Alright.
Hey, Victoria, what do you do here?
I was just around, thought I'd stop by. Can I come in? Or,
Inside? No, it's not a good time right now.
Dang.
in all honesty, it kind of seems like you're going through something. I just wanted to check in on you.
I appreciate that. It's just, I'm fine. You know, it's just the SpongeBob
My brother,
stuff
you are
is-
being too
makes me
obvious.
really busy, a little
But
stressed about that.
I can't say I blame him.
But I'm fine. You should probably go.
You're being really weird. You're not answering your phone. You're living in total darkness.
Ah,
Just talk to me. What's going on?
Okay, fine. Okay, we can talk. Just not here.
Fine. Do you want to get coffee or something?
Sure, fine. Yeah. I gotta put something away. Just stay right here.
dang. trust no one. Oh boy.
Now, we know
Let's see who is the backstabber to this.
SpongeBob, come in here.
We got Sandy as a rat,
Or should I say
Squidward as some
Robot
sort of...
Bob?
But he gave up after SpongeBob was too annoying.
You've got to take that yellow nightmare back. It's not worth it.
But I don't think this was his only attempt. In the season 11 episode, The Checkup,
Yeah.
SpongeBob and Squidward are trying to give Mr. Krabs a health checkup by testing his pinching reflexes.
Okay, I brought plenty of things for Mr. Krabs to pinch. A pinch of salt.
Yikes.
And one of the things they have him pinch is a baby.
A baby's cheek.
Ooh.
Lucky that was a robot baby.
How do you have
Random
that?
baby just turned out to be a robot, and it's never explained why. That's weird even for SpongeBob, but things get even more interesting when we go back to season 9 in the episode Plankton's Pet, where Plankton tries to steal a Krabby Patty using the exact same purple baby as a robot disguise.
That diabolical fiend. I can't believe this is working.
And we're not
Dang.
even done yet. If we go even further back to the season 5 episode Goo Goo Gas,
Oh,
we can actually
Goo Goo
see
Gas.
the exact moment where Plankton gets the idea to turn the baby into a robot.
Why, you're so tiny and helpless. I could take your formula whenever I wanted to, and you couldn't do a thing about it.
How dare you do that to the
That's
baby?
it. Finally, victory will be mine.
Now, in the episode,
dare
it's
you
implied
tease
this
that
is
baby
just
like
him
that.
getting the idea to turn everyone into babies to steal the formula, but isn't it crazy how it also perfectly lines up with the purple baby fish suddenly turning into a robot in future episodes? Now,
Ooh.
there's another fish who's always been very suspicious to me. The strangely realistic news anchor fish.
Hey, leave my man out of this. He's just doing his job.
Mysterious flying man who helps people. Who knows what superhero act of courage he'll astound us with next?
In a show full of cartoon characters, why is he the only realistic one? In fact, I made a whole theory about how there are evolved cartoony fish that can talk and primitive realistic fish who can't.
Yeah.
But as many people have pointed out, the one exception to this is the realistic news anchor fish. Well, if you ask me, he looks a lot like one of those animatronic singing fish you buy in a gift shop. Especially the way he mechanically moves his mouth and how we only ever see one side of him. So, already a pretty strong indication that he might be a robot.
I don't
but
like
there's
that.
also
Don't-
something
stop showing me
familiar
that,
about his
please.
voice.
What kind of cruel, careless, evil person? I'll canvas all the
They sound alike.
crowd dives in town.
That's right, he has the same voice as Plankton. And if you're gonna take over the world, then you're definitely gonna want to control the media. But how exactly is Plankton replacing these people with robots? Well, I think the season 10 episode Whirly Brains gives us an important
Whirly
In
Brains?
this episode, suddenly a new toy becomes extremely popular in Bikini Bottom, the Whirly Brain. Just flip your lid, attach the propeller, and watch your dream soar.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's a weird episode. So, people are actually voluntarily attaching devices to their brains and ripping them out of their bodies, and no one thinks that this is suspicious? If
No
you ask
one?
me, this seems like the perfect way to replace someone with a robot. Remember, in Welcome to the Chum Bucket, Plankton told us how he turns people into robots.
I'll be forced to remove your brain and implant it in my robot chef.
By removing their brains. But is there any proof that he's the one behind the Whirly Brain toys? Let's take a look at the new SpongeBob prequel, The Patrick Star Show. Every once in a while, the
Right.
show cuts to this stop-motion parody of Frankenstein with Plankton, and he actually
Okay.
uses Whirly Brains to conduct his experiments. It's not super clear how this all connects to the main show. I mean, we do see Patrick interact with the stop-motion Plankton at some point, so
Yeah.
they're at least in the same universe, but regardless, it's still a solid connection. We
Okay.
see another head-based gadget in the season 11 episode Bottle Burglars, an invisible helmet being advertised in a magazine for only 99 cents. And in
Okay.
the same episode, we see Plankton using the exact same helmet.
Crabs will never see me coming in Bizzos.
Now,
I'm sorry. I go back. I think I saw something.
episode, we see Plankton using the exact same helmet.
Crabs will never see me coming in Bizzos.
So, Plankton can have abs. Alright, so the SpongeBob water movie wasn't joking. He can have gains.
Plankton as an inventor. Plus, I can't see them selling a tiny version of the helmet just for Plankton.
Dang.
Seems a lot more likely that Plankton created the helmet and is selling them to the people of Bikini Bottom, possibly as a way to create more robots. Alright, so we're starting to get a pretty clear idea of how Plankton plans on turning the citizens of Bikini Bottom into robots.
Alright.
There is one more character that I believe has already been secretly assimilated into a robot. And it's not some random background character either. It's one of the main characters in SpongeBob SquarePants.
No.
This final part of the robot invasion theory is going to completely change the way you look at the entire show.
Okay. Who's it gonna be? Because we had, let's see, throughout all the stuff we've been going through, from the old reaction videos as well as the newer ones with Alex Bale, we've learned that Sandy's a rat. We learned that Squidward ain't like that for real, and most likely some sort of cult something. Mr. Krabs, not even Mr. Krabs for real. He's just an imaginary. Mrs. Puff is an ex-convict. Possibly the past Mr. Krabs is just, may or may not be a killer, and the new one is just, unfortunately, taking the blame, but he's still a faker of a killer. And SpongeBob is just, I guess, SpongeBob is literally a omniversal character now. So, who is it, huh? Let me guess. Is it... Who could it be? Sandy? I mean... Maybe Sandy, but it's like, why would he make Sandy a squirrel? Like, that's gonna draw suspicion, like, unwanted attention, because Sandy is the first land mammal on Bikini Bottom, so it's like... That's gonna draw some attention. I'm gonna go on a left field. I'm gonna say Bubble Bass. Hear my reason. All right, listen to my reason why I think Bubble Bass. Because let's be honest, it's interesting that Bubble Bass, right? I feel like the first time I see Bubble Bass, right? He appeared like in that episode where SpongeBob lost his mojo. He lost his mojo on making Krabby Patties because of the pickles. Right? Right. And aside from that whole brief appearance on that episode where SpongeBob and Plankton were friends, that was pretty much... We don't see, we don't see Bubble Bass for the longest until modern media, right? So it's like, where the heck did Bubble Bass go, right? I'm thinking like, you could say that Bubble Bass got converted, and that Bubble Bass got converted, Plankton snuck up on the real Bubble Bass, took him, and it's like, GG's. He's now made a new Bubble Bass that's gonna... Because I just don't understand. How did Bubble Bass now become more frequent now? He's becoming far more frequent now in the modern SpongeBob. So it's like, what's going on here? Let's see.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Because this is the Patrick Star theory.
Patrick? Nah, not my mans. Nah, you gonna do this to SpongeBob's dog? His bro? His day one? Gary. I'm guessing that's what he named the... Oh no.
Shit. Victoria?
Oh no.
Victoria!
Why'd she do it? Oh no, why'd she do it? The Patrick Star theory. Okay. How did SpongeBob lose his dog?
I realize saying Patrick is a robot is a very bold claim, but hold your judgments till the end. By far, the most requested theory I get on this channel is to cover Patrick Star, and more specifically, his inconsistent intelligence. Throughout the entire show, there are these little moments where Patrick suddenly says something smart.
I'm a bit more complicated than that. The inner machinations
On my mind, are an enigma.
And then immediately goes back to being dumb. There's so many examples of this happening that many people have actually made their own theories about it. Is Patrick secretly a genius and just pretending to be dumb? Does he have a
Survival.
secret split personality?
I diagnosed Patrick Star with trauma-induced anxiety triggered spontaneously duplicative multi-intellectual DID with additional paranoid schizophrenic delusions of a mental multiverse.
What?
Maybe.
I'm sorry. Okay. The Fearizer. Okay. What? Okay, that's wow. That's a mouthful.
I've come to a bit of a different conclusion. Have you ever noticed how every time we see Patrick try to think, there's either sparks or smoke coming out of his head?
Oh yeah, I mean.
Patrick speaking again.
And
Dang.
almost every time we see inside of Patrick's head, it's represented with gears or some kind of machinery.
Leave my man alone. Oh my goodness. Ain't no way my man is thinking that hard to think.
Now, we're supposed to assume that this is just a cartoony way to visualize thoughts, but what's strange is just how consistent they are with it. And even stranger, none of the other characters' thoughts are visualized this way.
Just got an order from the boss. Dump everything that isn't about fine dining. Squidward's Happy Gland is forced to take shelter in the recesses of his mind.
It's only
Dang.
Patrick who seems to have this robotic association with him. And just look at how detailed they are with it. While Patrick's head is sparking in a rule of thumb,
Hey, yo.
if you look closely, you can see a spring pop out of him, and even
And
a
SpongeBob was following.
by
You
the
saw his
spring.
eyes?
That is such a small detail that no one would notice unless you were going frame by frame. And if this is just supposed to be a metaphor inside of Patrick's head, how come SpongeBob clearly sees the spring come out? Okay, so let's
So it's
entertain the
real
idea
then.
for a moment that Patrick might be some sort of robot. How would he have gotten converted, and why does this cause him to randomly become smart every once in a while? Well, I looked at all the scenes where Patrick suddenly does something smart, and I noticed a bit of a pattern. There are two different types of these moments. There are times when we think he's saying something intelligent.
Wait, SpongeBob! We're not cavemen!
Gave my man a black eye.
We have technology!
But then it's revealed he's not actually being smart. This doesn't contradict his character at all. Patrick is someone who doesn't see himself as dumb, so there's lots of times when he tries to be smart, but he fails.
Ha.
Dumb people are always blissfully unaware of how dumb they really are.
But there are also
I love
moments where
voicing
he
Patrick
actually
so
does
much
do something
sometimes.
undeniably smart.
Wait a minute, Squidward. They might be onto something.
We could filter the CO2 through our ballast tanks, refire the engines, and ride the shockwave out of here.
Wow.
He's right.
But then he immediately acts oblivious to the fact that he was being smart.
We're going through with your plan, Patrick. Yay!
What plan?
Nani?
So, I kept track of these two different types of moments, and it seems like after season 3 is when he suddenly switches from pretending to be smart to actually having these smart moments. And this switch perfectly lines up with the season 4 episode, Patrick's Smarty Pants.
Oh.
In this episode, Patrick falls off a cliff and gets his head knocked off. SpongeBob accidentally
That
replaces his head
episode.
with a brain coral, which makes him become a genius.
I find all this laughter to be highly illogical.
In the end, they switch back to his normal head, and Patrick goes back to his usual stupid self.
Yay.
Take a closer look at the scene when he first puts on the brain coral.
Here's your head.
Had cobwebs.
Now, many people have interpreted these gears with cobwebs as a metaphor for Patrick's brain never being used until now, but these gears are not from Patrick's brain. His brain came off during the fall, which means these gears are entirely from the brain coral. And at the end of the episode, when they remove the brain coral, we can still see the electrical plug attached to it. We are no longer seeing a metaphorical representation inside of someone's head. We are seeing this plug from an outside perspective. The brain coral is just like the Whirly Brains, a robotic device that plugs into your
But, you know,
brain to
of course,
control
just
you.
the version
Isn't it
1.
convenient that Patrick just happened to land next to a pile of coral that looked identical to his head? Is it possible that Plankton saw this as an opportunity to add another victim to his robot invasion? But
I mean, but why did he specifically target Patrick? Like, why would he go after Patrick on that time? I mean, like, I'm not trying to disrespect Patrick, but I mean, like, well, I guess in a sense he would think that, you know, SpongeBob would tell Patrick how to make Krabby Patties, or at least he would make some Krabby Patties for Patrick. Like, you know, like when you have a friend that can cook, right? And you go to their house. And, you know, because Patrick does come over to Sonic. I was about to say Sonic. Patrick does come over to SpongeBob's house like frequently. You know, jellyfishing, golfing, all that. You know. So I wouldn't really like pass up the idea that, you know, Patrick would get hungry and SpongeBob would, you know, whip up a good Krabby Patty or two. And, you know, that's a perfect way to like get the formula, you know. So I think that's what Plankton was thinking. Like, maybe... Because we did see SpongeBob make a Krabby Patty for Patrick before. In that episode where, like... I don't remember the name of it, but I know that in one episode, Patrick got, like, the rare Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy card. And SpongeBob was fiending for it. He wanted it by any means necessary. Heck, he even tried to make Krabby Patties for Patrick. Of course, he had to pay a fine from Mr. Krabs, but... So, we know that he did it right then and there, so I feel like that's Plankton's idea, right? I feel like that could be.
After Patrick removed it, he went back to normal, right? He completely stopped Plankton's plan, right? Well, one season later, in the episode Sing a Song of Patrick, Patrick attempts to use his brain again, and we see the exact same gears inside of his head.
Come on, you stupid brain! Work!
And they don't got no cobwebs.
Out of their way to recreate the exact placement of all the gears from the brain coral, which means the head Patrick put on at the end of Patrick's Smarty Pants was not his head. It was another piece of robotic brain coral.
Dang it, SpongeBob!
Like, for whatever reason, this brain coral isn't as effective as the first one, and he's only able to have rare moments of genius. In the season 12 episode SpongeBob's Big Birthday Blowout, Patrick has another one of his smart moments.
Oh, would you look at the hour? It's almost time for me to take SpongeBob on that tour so you guys can decorate his house.
You see, why is Bubble Bass making a more frequent appearance?
Plankton is actually there to witness it, and take a guess how Plankton responds to him.
Yeah, I guess even a broken moron can be right once a day.
He calls Patrick a broken moron because he knows Patrick is a broken one of his experiments. And if you still don't believe me, in the newest episode of season 13, The Goofy Scoopers, we get this scene.
This stinks. I wanted to go backstage for an autograph.
Plankton was here. Yes, he certainly was.
Dang.
That is the robot invasion theory. Thank you very much.
God dang, SpongeBob. You need a new friend group.
Okay, robot invasion theory done. Hey, we just passed 500,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much.
I know that is from a long time, but it's crazy getting that much of a subscriber count, man.
This many people watching me for SpongeBob theories. You guys wouldn't like all immediately unsubscribe and leave me if I stop making these, right?
Well, I'm from the future, and they still love you.
The SpongeBob guy. I will see you. I'll see you guys. Bye.
All right, let's get into the Muse stuff.
Wait, Victoria! Do not give me the silent treatment right now. I swear to God, if you did something, I'll...
Oh my God!
Victoria, where were you?
I was using your bathroom. Why the fuck are you pointing a knife at me?
God dang.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, you cannot be here right now.
No, I am not leaving until you tell me what's going on.
Listen, I promise I will explain everything to you later. You cannot be in here.
Why are you so afraid of me being in your house?
Victoria, I promise you, this is not the time. We have to leave right now.
Your muse isn't gonna eat me.
What?
What?
Huh.
You mean the big tentacle monster in my basement?
Oh, so this is where they finally give the official
How do you
name.
know about that?
I have one too.
What?